You know how long I've been waiting for this? Oh, I'm about to make a build for myself here. Alright, with the white maps complete, it's time for us to get some gear upgrades. We're gonna start out with a Replica Combs Heart. Thank you very much, good sir. Okay, so next up we're getting an Amulet. I couldn't get one any cheaper than this. I would say don't care too much about the rolls. But we ended up paying 30 Chaos for this one with pretty high rolls. So this is Edzuri's Foible. Let me thank this guy, thank you. Okay, so what does this amulet have going on? So Edzuri's Foible is going to give you tons of mana. It has flat mana, increased maximum mana, as well as a maximum mana regeneration rate. Right? You can get that on the implicit as well as the unique modifier there. More importantly, it's going to make items and gems have 25% reduced attribute requirements. This should help you equip your dex and strength gear on this build. Let's put this on. So there is our chest and our amulet. Alright, we finally got a trader that was like, I don't know, 10 whispers. So once again, we are getting the Death Rush ring. This ring has some chaos resist on it. It recovers some life on kill. And it's going to give you adrenaline on kill. The most important roll that you're looking for is, let's make this trade first. Thank you very much. Thanks. Alright, we'll go back to the hideout. The most important roll you're looking for on this item is the gain adrenaline for 1 to 3 seconds on kill. Right, you want that maxed at 3. That way we have more uptime on the adrenaline buff, which gives us damage, attack speed, cast speed, move speed, and all that good stuff. So we're going to put this in instead of our amethyst ring over here. That is one ring done. What's the other one going to be? I'm going to have to look that up. Alright, next up we're getting a rare ring. It looks like we found one here for 20 chaos. Of course, we're getting the amethyst ring base because our character has like no chaos resist. At this point in the league, I don't really know what prices are going for. I might be overpaying here. I might be getting a good deal. I really don't know. I have the chaos and I know that I need this ring, so let's go ahead and get it. Thank you, sir. And if we go to the hideout, I will let you inspect this ring very quickly. So the lightning damage attacks completely useless. The life, quite useful. It's got tier 1 cold resist as well as some all resists. And it has an open prefix or suffix so I can craft either mana or another resist on this ring. Very nice. Let's put that on. And we'll take a look at our chaos resist. It is now at 33%. Very nice. Alright, next up we're getting a pair of boots. I just typed in the search parameters, high move speed, any resists. We ended up finding this pair of boots for 8C. Let's go ahead and accept it. Thank you. And back to the hideout we go. So this pair of boots has fire res, chaos res, cold res, move speed, and an open prefix for us to put life or mana on it. So let's go ahead and put this one on as well. Okay, next item is a pair of gloves. So this is 10 chaos. It's nothing fancy. It's got life, mana, and I think a resist. We'll see in the trade screen here in just a second. Okay, it's actually got lightning resist, so let's say thank you, and back to the hideout we go. So, it's got life, mana, lightning res, as well as an open prefix or suffix, so we can add probably another resistance to this piece. Alright, let's have a look here. Our resistances are looking good. We've got 81 to all our elemental resists, fire being our lowest, lightning being our second lowest, cold being quite in abundance here. If we take out this belt, what happens? I lose a little bit of chaos resist, so I think for my last piece, my helmet and belt, I should use that to cap out my chaos resist. And of course, the helmet, I should keep it open for Kitava's Thirst if I decide to use that. So let's go get a belt next. Okay, so we're getting a belt. I actually totally forgot that I recommended the Immortal Flesh unique belt here for the life regen it gives early on. So we're just going to get that and then fix our helmet to balance the rest of our resists. So let's go ahead. We'll pay 16C for this. Thank you very much, good sir. Thank you. Alright, back to the hideout we go. So you'll see here that this belt gives you a bit of life, tons of life regen, a little bit of mana regen, and then the worst part is that it gives you minus 15 to all elemental resistances. So we need to get a little bit of fire, lightning, and chaos resist on our helmet slot. Let's go ahead and find a helmet that fits the bill. Okay, looks like we may have gotten something here. Duke Scion for 3 chaos. What do you got for me, friend? Alright. Thank you. Oh, whoops. Thanks. Let's run away before he says something. Alright, so this helmet we got for 3 chaos, which is quite the steal. It's got an open prefix, an open suffix, life, mana, chaos res, and fire res. Let's go ahead and put this one on. So that should be every piece that we need right now before we swap to Kitava's Thirst. We'll have a quick look at the resistances. So we've got overcapped on fire, overcapped on cold, lightning is suffering, and we are almost capped on chaos. So if we can put lightning resist on this... Oh, we have lightning and chaos resist? Oh, that's awesome. Okay, we'll put lightning and chaos resist on this. Now, chaos resistance is capped, and we just need lightning resist on another piece. Alright, I'm just looking at the rest of my gear to see where I can put some Mastercrafts on. So it looks like I can put a meta mod onto this ring. So let's go ahead and do that. There's some maximum meta. This is a unique. These are uniques. My shield and wand is a unique. This one has resists. This one has nothing on it yet. Let's see what I can put on it. I can put life or mana in this case. I'm going to go ahead and put mana. We don't need that much survivability just yet. So we'll put mana on this. And every rare should now have a modifier on it. So once again, we'll do a quick look at our gear. We are capped fire, capped cold, capped lightning, capped chaos. And we have 5.8k mana and 2.9k life almost. Right, we still have some money left over. Not a lot, but enough to get some upgrades. 55 chaos, I'll probably use it on Flasks, but I don't know what Flasks I want to get yet and what mods I want on them, so that can wait until the next time. Okay, so the next thing for us to do is move all of our gear over. We need a blue, 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 red setup on this helm. Let's go ahead and get that. There it is. That's where Firestorm will go. And then we need a 2 red setup for our determination. It looks like we have that here on the boots. I'll make use of that. And we need a blue and red setup for Sigil of Power and Punishment. So I'm going to go ahead and do that super quick. There it is, there's Punishment, there's Sigil of Power, and now all of our items, or our sockets, should be working as intended. I'm going to go ahead and sell all of my previous gear. We don't need this anymore. Sell, sell, sell. Sell it all. And I'll keep this amulet to disenchant for later. Right, the last thing for us to do is to run our Uber Lab. For that I need gold, because we need to buy an offering to the goddess. So let me just go get some gold super quick. Alright, that should be enough gold for us to make the trade. Let's go back to the hideout. And then we'll go to Faustus, and just in case we die or DC or something, we will buy 2. We'll go to here, type an offering to the goddess. I have Chaos Orbs, and let's go ahead and get 2. And before we leave, because we might get a nice Divine Font, let's go ahead and get a Multi-Strike Gem, and then Ice Nova, and that should be good enough. Let's go to Aspirant's Plaza, and here we can trade in our offering to the goddess for an entry ticket to the Eternal Labyrinth. So I will see you at the end of Uber Lab. Alright, we are here at the final Azaro fight. Today's Uber Lab layout is actually super clean. There's no golden doors or any big mazes. It's just a... I don't know if I can actually see the entire map here, but it was just super quick. I've been here for like 3 minutes or something. Alright, let's make sure we don't die. Oh. Alright. I did leave all the mechanics up, I think, so I'm a little bit scared of getting hit. Sweet. So let's get out of here, go into the reward room, open up these treasure keys. Alright, nothing too good there. Let's try our luck with the Divine Font. 15% quality to a gem. That sounds pretty useful, honestly. Let's use that on Archmage. Ugh, what's going on? Okay, there we go. And 100 mil to a gem. That also sounds pretty useful. Honestly, gem levels isn't really a big deal right now, so I'm just going to max out the quality onto my Archmage. There it is, 20% Archmage, very nice. No Transfigured Gem, though, so that's unfortunate. We'll get our Uber Lab, but that should be a challenge complete as well. We are now 9 out of 40. Achieve Ascension, right? That's the challenge we just completed, so Normal, Cruel, Merciless, Eternal Lab. And we are 9 out of 40. For our Uber Lab points, we're going to be spending that on Arcane Blessing, so go ahead and get these two things. Arcane Surge is going to grant us 20% more spell damage, and we're going to get Arcane Surge whenever we hit something with a spell. Super nice. It's going to give us a nice damage buff. I might run more labs since the layout is so nice and it only cost me a chaos to run each of these. Or we can go straight into progressing yellow maps, right? The build is more than capable now of getting to early reds. So I'm going to go take a break, and I will see you guys soon. Alright, so we're back after a break, and as you can tell, during that break I went and ran Uber Lab like 20 times. The last time I did a slash played, we were at 11 hours, something like that. And then I did, what, 4 or 5 hours of lab, something crazy like that. I got really unlucky with the drop chance. We did get Frost Blink of Wintry Blast quite early. Let me see if we can find that in my gear. Here it is. Right, and we've connected that to faster casting. So here's what that looks like. This is our new movement skill. Right, very nice. And quite some time later, I also got Ice Nova of Frostbolts. So this is what it looks like when you cast it on its own. And here's what it looks like when you cast it on Frostbolt. Right, so it is quite the machine. So in terms of skill gems and how they've changed, we've completely gotten rid of Firestorm. We now instead have Ice Nova of Frostbolts, Archmage Support, Intensify, and Spell Echo. Right, this is on a 4-link because we are still using Replica Comb's Heart. We will upgrade to a 6-link with better supports later. For Frostbolt, we have Greater Multiple Projectiles, Returning Projectiles, and Unleash Support. So the guide recommends that we swap into Katavar's Thirst at this point. I am going to hold off for a little bit until I can get better gear pieces to accommodate the loss of life, mana, and resistances on this helmet. So we're going to be playing self-cast Ice Nova of Frostbolts for a little bit, and if you have better gear than I do, then you can switch into Kitava's Thirst right away. Right, the only important thing about Kitava's Thirst is that your spells cost at least 100 mana, I believe, and that should trigger the Frostbolt spell as you cast your Wintry Blast and your Ice Nova, and it should be a one-button playstyle. Right, very nice. We've also gotten rid of Clarity and Arrogance, so you'll see that the only aura being reserved right now is Determination on Eternal Blessing. Right, and that's because we don't have sockets to accommodate Arrogance and Clarity. So our stats right now is almost 6.6k mana, 3k life, 1.8k ES. We are also level 85. I leveled up quite a bit from doing the Uber Lab. And I did buy some Flasks here, which I think we're supposed to roll later. I haven't really gotten around to that. Just ignore this for a second. Let's go run a map, and I'll show you what the build looks like. So let's see if we can get a white map here. What's a nice map? Tropical Island is a pretty nice TM map. Let's go get this, and we will elk it. Hopefully there's no reflect. And then we'll put it into the map device. And let's go see what this looks like. Alright, so we're going to use a Frost Blink of a Wintry Blast to travel, and then we are going to cast our Frost Nova, or sorry, Frostbolt, and then Frost... Wow, I just can't speak right now. We're going to cast Frostbolt, and then cast Ice Nova of Frostbolts after the fact. There we go. That wasn't too hard now, was it? And you can see here that the damage is quite nice, despite the skill being, you know, very low in level. And it feels fast to play. The only thing I don't really like is the 2-button playstyle, but, you know, we can't really do anything about that right now. And I'll pick up these orbs. And I guess you can just hang out with me while we finish this map. And there it is. Nice build. Alright, let's get back to town. And we'll get rid of some of the items in our inventory super quick. This is a pretty good item to use on Holy Relic of Conviction build, so let's vol it and see if we get anything good. Nothing. Alright, we'll just vendor it. Alright, so the last thing we're going to do before we start yellow maps is roll our flasks. So I've gone ahead and I've bought myself one of these flasks. Each one cost about 8 to 9 chaos, and that's because their item level is 85 or above. Right, that will give us access to the highest modifiers available for the mod pool. So, first thing I recommend that you do is if you have some spare chaos, go ahead and get yourself some glass blowers baubles. So we'll go to the currency exchange, get glass blowers baubles. I have chaos. Let's go buy like let's go buy 20 of these. Why not? Alright, so 20 for 10C. And then go ahead and quality all your flasks. So when you use baubles on your life flask, this is already at 20 or above, so I can't use any on it. It's going to increase the amount of life that you recover. When you do it on your mana flask, which is also 20 or above, Jesus Christ, it's going to give you more mana back, and then when you use it on your utility flasks, like silver, quicksilver, granite, it's going to give you longer duration. So let's go ahead and max these out. We're one short, so we'll just do this. There we go. Alright, now we have full qualities on all of this. We still have some Chaos Orbs left, which is very nice. And now we're going to roll these flasks. So what rolls you want usually depends on what build and how you like to play. So one thing I know is that people like to automate their flasks. They don't like clicking on things or pressing buttons that they don't have to. So people will usually put enchantments on these flasks to make them automated. I'm going to do a little bit of a half and half situation here. Let's see here. I have 11 Instilling Orbs and 1 Enkindling Orbs. If you have enough of these, as well as some Glass Blower Baubles, you can actually go to your crafting bench here, and we'll type in enchantments. What the heck? Enchantments? Do we not have enchantments for this build? Here it is. Okay, enchantments. Alright, and here, with the right orbs and baubles, you'll be able to pick and choose which enchantment you want to put onto your flask. Now that's probably our best bet, so I'm going to go ahead and get myself a couple more baubles. Okay, so I didn't realize that Enkindling Orbs are so gosh darn expensive. That means I'm not going to be able to put on the manual flask setup that I want right now. So those cost almost 1 chaos each, and we don't have enough chaos to re-roll the RNG and get the mods we want. So I'm just going to stick to completely automated flasks for now. So let's go to our crafting bench. We'll put each of our flasks in. So this, I recommend that you put reused at the end of the flask effect, or used when charges reach full. It's really up to you. I'll put used when reach when charges reach full. And then I'll do the same for my Quicksilver. And I will do the same for my Granite Flask. Alright, so now we have 3 automated flasks. You cannot automate your mana or life flasks, so nothing to worry about there. We'll put our instilling orbs back in. Now we're going to roll these with alterations, alright? What are we looking for? Let's find out. So for my life flask, I usually like having a half and half setup, so half instant recovery and half normal recovery. So let's go ahead and see if we can get that. Okay, we got it in the first one. So that's good enough for me to start mapping. You can augment it to try and get a suffix if you'd like, or you can go to the menagerie and you can put a weaker version of a suffix that you can guarantee. So let's do that. We'll go to Blood Altar here. I think the biggest weakness of this build right now is either poison or bleed. Alright, so let's go for the basic one. We'll put immunity to bleeding on our life flask. So let's go ahead and craft this. Alright, and you have to kill the beasts, and that will give you your item back with the right mod. So here we have our life flask complete. I'm going to swap that out with this divine flask I had from before. We don't need that anymore, and we don't need this anymore either. Alright, next thing we can do is our mana flask. So let's sit here in the stash and roll it a couple times. For this, I would recommend increased recovery rate. Okay, there it is. I was starting to think that this thing didn't exist for a second. So we got increased recovery rate. That makes our mana recover faster when we use the flask. So on this, so we've got immunity to corrupting blood here. Let's go ahead and put immunity to poison, maybe? Yeah, we could use some poison immunity. And let's go ahead and put poison immunity on this flask. And there it is. So we've got a poison immunity flask here. We'll toss this one. And we'll put this one in instead. Alright, now for our utility flasks, we are going to want probably increased duration or increased charge recovery. So these are used when charges reach full, and as long as you're killing monsters, they will be constantly getting flask charges and recovering or being used constantly when they hit full. So let's put a couple of transmutations onto this and see what we can get. Okay, so we didn't go too crazy on the flasks because we don't have a lot of alterations to work with to begin with. So let's see what we settled for. We have increased charge recovery and reduced effect of shock on us during effect. That's nice because we don't have shock immunity on this build yet, so we'll go ahead and put that there. Then we have a Chemist Quicksilver. This one will use reduced charges per use and give us a chance to shock freeze and ignite. Right, nothing fancy here. These are pretty bad flasks, but they're a lot better than what we had before. So we'll put them on. And of course we have a increased armor during effect Granite Flask with a little bit of a chance to gain a flask charge when we deal a critical strike. Right, not bad, not great, but getting perfect flasks for your build can be quite an expensive or annoying endeavor, right? And half the time, a lot of people don't even know what mods are good for their build, myself included. So that is flasks done. We don't need these anymore. We've done a lot of gear upgrades. We are completely ready to do yellow map progression. Hey, welcome back, guys. I don't know what day it is, but we are about to do some yellow maps in this video. Before we get started, I want to show you what's been going on with Kingsmarch over here. So the farm is where we left it. It is rank 5. We have wheat, corn, pumpkins, and ore gourd farming, right? And, oh, I guess this one's worth mentioning. We've upgraded our workers at least to level 4. So you'll see some that are level 4, some that are level 5, and this is also true for every other station that we are currently using in Kingsmarch. So here is the mining. We can now mine Verisium at mining rank 6. We don't really care about the mining increase speed yet. And you'll see here that I've moved all my workers onto Verisium because I learned that they just mine the next thing once you run out of what they're assigned to. So if they run out of Verisium, they will start mining Bismuth, and then Petrified Amber, Orichalcum, Crimson Iron, and so on. Right, this is a little bit of a problem since some of the upgrades require the ore instead of the bar, but what we're going to do is just remove our smelters and make them inactive whenever that becomes the case. That way we can start producing some ore as well. In fact, let's go ahead and do that right now. Remove all of our smelters so we have some ore at the end of our mapping session to make some upgrades. So that's really it. What else is going on in Kingsmarch? Town improvement. Everything is starting to cost a lot of gold now. And also, as you increase your rank in the town, recruiting new people also costs a bunch of gold. You can see here that it costs 500 to re-roll. Right, so you want to upgrade your workers progressively. Right, you want to make sure you have at least all at level 3 before you start rolling for level 4. Then you want to have all at level 4 before you start rolling for 5, and so on. Right, you don't want to just like YOLO it to max rank town and then start hunting for level 10 workers. That is going to, you're just not going to have enough gold for that. So with that said, let's go to our hideout. I'm very excited today. So we will be doing yellow map progression, and we are now playing Ice Nova of Frostbolts. Right, we did Uber Lab for like 5 hours, got the gems that we needed, we made a bunch of gear upgrades, very nice, and we even upgraded our flasks. The only thing really left to do is check our Pantheon. For that, we need more maps and a couple of divine vessels. I will let you know when I find maps that we should use this on. But otherwise, we are just going to start working through the yellow maps. All right, and of course, we're using the same Atlas passive tree as before. We are focusing on Kirik missions, and now that we're in yellow maps, we're actually going to go ahead and grab Trial of Glory. This is going to make it so that there is a chance we see an improved Trial of Ascendancy in our yellow maps or above. Those give you Goddess Blessings or something? Let's see what they give you. Okay, it's going to give you one of these 3 blue-looking things. So you got Tribute, Gift, and Dedication, and some of this is quite expensive. You can see that one dedication to the Goddess is ADC, so if you manage to find one of that while mapping, you will get a nice ADC added to your bank account. Alright, the other strategy that I'm going to try out is we're going to go ahead and get Prolific Essence. This is going to make our maps contain an additional Essence monster. We're not going to heavily invest into Essences. Instead, we are going to get Remnant of Corruption Essence Chance. So every time we see a Essence monster, it might have a Remnant of Corruption on it. And the reason we're doing this is because if we go here and say I want Remnant of Corruption, you'll notice that this stupid thing is worth 8 Chaos. Right? So every time you see one of those, we're gonna, yoink a free 8 Chaos. And of course, we'll have Kirik missions going as well. The goal of this Atlas strategy is to get a lot of passive income. So that's what we're going to do. And without further ado, I don't know, I'll give you another 30 seconds of me killing yellow map bosses, and then we will be back. I don't really have much to say. Progressing through yellow maps is not very different than progressing through white maps, as long as you have the gear for it, which of course we do. Instead of running magic maps, we will be running rare maps. For yellow maps, just look out for modifiers, I guess. Get your Orb of Scourings and your Alchemy Orbs out and ready, because you're going to get some BS modifiers like players cannot regenerate mana or life, and we don't want to mess around with that. Alright, this looks manageable, so I'm going to go run it. I'll see you guys in a couple of hours. Okay, the other thing worth mentioning is you're going to start seeing influences. So we just had the Maven influence this map, and that's going to drop you a quest item, in this case the Maven's Bacon. Go ahead and pick it up. And when you go back to town, or the hideout, you can turn this into your map device, and then you'll see that you can now Maven influence your maps. So Maven, Eater, and Exarch is the, I guess, end game of 3.25. I kind of want to explain it further, but I also don't want to overcomplicate something. If you are familiar with how to progress your influences, then do so while you do your yellow maps. If you are completely new to this, then I would suggest just focusing on Atlas progression, and then maybe looking up a video, or, I guess I could cover on how to do it after the fact. You don't want to multitask this unless you are very comfortable with your build and know what you're doing. Otherwise, it's going to get you into a lot of trouble, because influenced map bosses, or map areas, can be a lot of trouble. Alright, back to mapping, and I'll see you soon. Hey, look at that. We've got ourselves an improved offering to the goddess. Let me make sure I'm actually recording and talking here. Alright, so this is just a Trial of Ascendancy with extra steps. Right, should be nothing new if you've seen it in the campaign, if you've seen it in Uberlab. It might be a little bit annoying, but, you know, if we can get, like, a couple of chaos from this, I am all for it. So I'll see you at the end of this trial, and then we'll see how much money we made. Alright, so that didn't take too long, maybe 2 to 3 minutes, and let's open this. We got a gift to the goddess. How do we leave this area? Alright, take this portal back, and we can go do a price check in town. I think this is one of the less expensive ones. I think dedication is the most expensive, but let's go see what we got. I have gift to the goddess. I want Chaos Orb. What the hell? There's no shot this is 200C. Holy crap. Okay, that is 200C. Okay, so apparently I don't know what things are worth, but that is a good thing because we learn. So let's go ahead and grab our sweet 200C. Insta sold. Oh my goodness. Alright, this goes straight into the currency tab. That is, we're gonna start saving up for some better upgrades, I suppose. Alright, so we are back after a ton of mapping. I was just checking to see how much of the yellow maps we've completed. So, unless I missed something, we have tier 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 maps complete. There is a few, or 2 maps rather, that I did not complete. This is intentional. This was the Silo map and the Jungle Valley map. As to why I didn't complete this, I want to try out an advanced strategy that I've seen recommended by other content creators. It's called Shadow Shaping Ping Pong Atlas Map Sustain. That's a mouthful, but basically you're going to do some shenanigans to try and get as many Jungle Valley and Silo maps to drop, and these are good tile sets for a lot of endgame strategies. Never really knew what this little... Like, what is that icon? Some of the maps have it above it. Oh, that's so cool. So if you see this blue thing over the map, that means that you can get a Pantheon soul from it. Right? You'll see that some of these Pantheon effects, you need to capture certain bosses. So I never knew that. That's pretty cool. Let's zoom back out. While I was doing Keurig missions, I also got offered a two red maps here. I got Port and Grotto that were corrupted, and they were offered as yellow maps, but they count as red maps, so we also grabbed those too. And I think I also got a couple of unique maps while doing Atlas progression. Very nice. So I haven't looked at my inventory yet. It was a very smooth mapping session. I think I had one close call. It was an essence mob, believe it or not. And speaking of essences, let's go take a look at our Remnant of Corruptions. We ended up with 6 of these. So I'll say I want Chaos Orbs, and I'm going to put them for sale for 7 each. And see how many we get. So 7 times... How many do I have? 7 times 6, that is 42? Am I stupid? Okay, should be 42 Chaos, 6 of these. And that's... yeah, we'll place this order and see how long that takes to sell. Aside from that, let's have a look at our currency tab. It is a mess, I know, but have a look at these Chaos Orbs. We've got 543 Chaos Orbs in the stash. Most of that is from the Keurig missions, believe it or not. And we also got a very lucky improved Goddess of the Offering. That one ended up selling for 200C. So very nice. Now with the Chaos Orbs kind of bloating up our stash tab, I'm probably going to get them converted into Divines and then start saving up Divines for our next upgrade. I don't really know what that's going to be. The build feels good so far. We are level 88, 6.8k mana, 3.4k HP almost. And I don't know if our gear is good enough to get into red maps. I mean, I'm sure we can force a clear and get all the Atlas passive points. But what I'm worried about is that we're going to start dying more and losing XP, and that's not going to be ideal for our long-term progression. So I'll have a look at this and see how I feel like about moving forward with red maps. If we feel like our build is too squishy or doesn't have enough damage to comfortably do red maps, we're going to pick a strategy to do in the yellow or white maps, and then we're going to grind out a couple divines, get some upgrades, and then get some smooth progression after. So quick recap on our Atlas passive skill tree. When we left off white maps, we were about here. So first thing I did was I got Trial of Glory. This is how I got my improved offering to the goddess. Then I went up here and I started working on essences. So I got some Remnant of Corruption as well as 1 guaranteed essence per map. Once again, I don't really care about the essence strategy. I just care about the Remnant of Corruptions, which are selling to 6 to 7 chaos a pop. Then I went up here and I got all the quantity nodes that I could. It was convenient that it pathed through some essence chants. I'm missing one over here, I'll get that with my next point. And we also got the smaller map tier chance nodes. So with all of that put in, let's see if I can do a search for map tier. Okay. We have 85% chance for maps to become 1 tier higher when we find them. So that'll be really nice for sustaining yellow maps as well as getting red maps for Atlas progression. The last thing I think you should all do is go ahead and take Secular Focus. This makes it so your maps can no longer contain ritual altars. I don't know what is wrong with Ritual in 3.25. It is overtuned. Those monsters and effects hurt. I don't want to see it in my map. It's a nice way to get caught off guard and get yourself killed. So that was removed for that purpose. And yeah, I think I'm going to end the video here. Our slash played is 18 hours, 53 minutes. So we did all of the yellow map progression in about 2 hours or less. I am gonna go do something fun, have some dinner, and then think about what to do next. I'll see you guys next time.